Brought to you by DK Audio.
DK Audio presents The Good Luck Book, a celebration of global traditions, superstitions and folklore, by Heather Alexander, read by Laura Brydon. Author's Note: I decided to write this book because I was curious about so many of my quirky superstitions and good luck charms. How did they come to be? Is there any logic behind them? As I researched and friends and family near and far shared their own beliefs, I was surprised how many we all had in common. I've tried to include as many superstitions as possible here, but honestly, I could have filled several more books, and I apologise if I've left out your favourite. For a lot of the entries, I had to choose just one country where a certain superstition is popular. If you find yourself saying, "We do that too," it's because several places often have some version of the same superstition, but often with small differences. One of the trickier jobs was determining if something is a superstition, cultural tradition, or religion. Often the line is blurred, and what one person sees as a superstition, another sees as a belief. Finding the origin and explanation for many superstitions and beliefs was a challenge because, over the years, some have got mixed up, combined with others, or the original meaning has been lost. I definitely learned a lot of interesting stuff, and I hope you'll have as much fun reading this book as I had writing it, with my lucky pen, of course, and may fortune always smile upon you. Introduction. Are you superstitious? Have you ever wished on an eyelash, said rabbit rabbit on the first day of the month, worn your lucky sweatpants to cheer on your favourite team, or thrown your furniture out of the window? These are all superstitions, and most people, whether they admit it or not, are a little superstitious every now and then. Humans do all sorts of things based on superstitions, even though we know it may not be very logical or scientific. Often, we don't even realise some of our actions, like covering our mouths when we yawn, are actually derived from superstitions. What are superstitions? Let's start with a definition. A superstition is an irrational belief or a belief not based in knowledge or fact. Superstitious thinking often starts out something like this: if I pick my nose, then I'll get a perfect score on my maths test. Makes no sense, does it? But what if one time you happened to pick your nose before a test and you got a perfect score? And then before the next test you think, why not? So you pick your nose again and, whoa, you ace the test again. Now your brain has linked two random things that logically don't have anything to do with one another, but you conclude that picking your nose gives you luck in school. You've somehow forgotten that you paid attention in class, did all the homework problems and studied a lot. Instead, your brain got stuck on an action or object that you falsely believe made something good happen, so you repeat it again and again. You tell your friends, and they start picking their noses before tests too. And then you all grow up and tell your kids to do it. That's how a superstition is born. Are superstitions new? Superstitions are not new. They date back to the beginning of civilization. When people didn't understand something about nature or themselves, such as a massive thunderstorm or a case of the hiccups, they often relied on their own powers of observation. This method brought about tons of great scientific discoveries, but it also led to some false beliefs when our brains failed to register that some causes and effects didn't.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?